Moxfield is one of the most powerful and popular Magic the Gathering deck building sites. Here's how to use it. The first thing you'll have to do is make an account or sign in. Just hit the sign in or register button. If you're already signed in, those buttons will be replaced by your account name. Once you're signed in, you can click New Deck. Type in the name for your deck and choose your format from this box. If you choose Commander or Brawl, you can select your commander or wait until you're in the deck. If you know what you want your commander to be, just type in the name of your commander. If you don't know what you want your commander to be, just leave this blank. You can set your commander later. I'll leave this blank so I can show you the other method of setting your commander. You can also start with an existing list from a file, URL, or by pasting it in. Just click on whichever option you want and upload or paste in the information. In this case, I'll leave it blank. You can set your list to public, unlisted, or private. I would recommend leaving it public so EDH records more data and so people can search your deck through Moxfield. You can set it to unlisted, meaning only people with the link to the list can find it so you can share it with your friends, or you can set it to private so only you or anyone logged into your account can see it. Now click Create Deck. Congratulations, you've made it to the deck creations. The first thing to learn is adding cards. You can type in card names into the search box and click on the suggested results to add it to your deck, or search and hit enter or the search button to see all the results. You can hit backslash to easily type into the search box. So hit backslash and type Soul Ring. Then you can click to add it to your deck. You can also search using Scryfall syntax. If you don't know Scryfall syntax, you can watch this video to learn, or click here to use advanced search. Just fill out these boxes. Scryfall syntax is much more powerful though. You can change the view of the deck with this menu. You can see text, visual stack, and visual grid. You can also change how cards are broken into categories with type, custom tag, color identity, mana value, rarity, and set. You can also change the order within the categories by price, name, and mana cost. Alright, now let's set the commander for this deck. Just click pick a commander and search for it. In this case, I'll search for Galazeth Prismari and click save. You can right click cards, click the caret, or click the dots depending on the view option for cards. This is how you add to and remove from the number of the cards. You can also change the CMC of cards for your curve, so if you want your Blasphemous Sack to show up as 1 mana on your curve instead of 9, you can do that. Just right click, change mana value, and type out the mana cost surrounding mana symbols with squiggly brackets, or just use the mana symbol helper. Alright, let's go back to the search box. I'll create a search for instants or sorceries that make artifacts. These should work well in my Galazeth Prismari deck. Search for this and hit enter to see the results. You'll see all the results for your search, and you can easily add them to your deck. I would recommend hitting this button to switch to the view where you can see more cards and it's easier to look through lots of cards. I'll look through the list and add all the good cards to my deck. Then I can just go back to the list by hitting back to list at the top of the search. If you're making a commander deck, you can hit recommendation and it will show recommendations from EDH Rec, which gathers data from how others have built with your commander. Just scroll through and add all the good cards. It won't show cards already in the deck, so you can go back to the deck, then go back to the recommendation page for more ideas. Alright, we've added a lot of cards, but I want to make sure the price of my deck is accurate so I know if I want to make changes. Click more and update to cheapest. This will change the card's edition to the cheapest edition, so my deck becomes significantly cheaper. You can also click more, then bulk edit to see a text version of the deck and edit it that way. If you have a list of cards you want to add, pasting them in here is the best way. Once you've added the cards, you can click save and it will add those cards to your deck. Then you can return to the main deck view. You can click the lightning bolt to quickly add lists of cards to your deck. You can create packages or use ones others have made. Click browse all packages and filter by most liked. Click on the ones you want to look at and subscribe to the ones you'll think you'll use. The ones you're subscribed to will show up here so you can quickly add to your list. Speaking of subscribing, if you're enjoying the video so far, I would greatly appreciate it. Be careful about adding lists though, since you can't undo adding these lists. You'll have to manually delete all of these cards. It won't add any cards outside of your color identity though, so you don't have to worry about that. You can click create primer to make a description of the deck. Then people can click to look at the primer. It's based on Markdown and you have a lot of control over how everything is displayed. I won't cover everything and I'll leave a link giving more detail, but here's how to add cards. Just type 2 brackets surrounding a card's exact name. Occasionally it will show as red, but just look at the preview to see if it works. Then click on save primer and go back to the deck list. Click playtest to test your deck and see how it performs. You can drag cards around and across different zones, click cards to select them, click the deck or press press D to draw a card, double-click cards to tap or untap them, press U to untap all your permanents, or tap or untap selected cards by pressing T. You can select cards, then hit buttons to send them to zone, B for battlefield, L for top of library, Shift and L for bottom of library, G for graveyard, and E for exile. You can control the counters on cards by right-clicking them, and you can do more actions in the player/actions menu, including restarting, going to the next turn, shuffling, looking at your library, creating tokens and cards, and more. You can gain or lose life, which is shown here with the plus and minus keys or button, and you can hit M to show the mana tracker. Click the mana symbols to add to the mana tracker, and shift-click to remove from the mana tracker. You can use tags to categorize your cards, add tags by right-clicking a card and selecting Change Tags. You'll see a list of tags on the cards. If there's no tags, it will be blank. To add deck-specific tags, type hashtag tag name, and this will only affect the tag for this card in this deck. To add global tags, type hashtag exclamation mark tag name. This will affect the tags for this card in all of your decks. If you set the global and non-global tag to the same name, they will be grouped together. If you change the view to visual grid, you can drag cards across categories by dragging it to the tags you want it to be, and it will add those tags to the card. If a card has multiple tags, it will appear in both categories. You can look along the bottom of the screen and see information about the deck, such as the number of cards, cost, and the number of cards in each type. You can even see subtype information by hovering over the types. You can see more stats by scrolling down. First, you can see the tokens for your deck by expanding this menu, and you can see the recent changes made to your deck with this menu. If you want to see the full deck history, just click here. Unfortunately, you can't easily add these cards back or revert to previous version, but it's still a good thing to reference. Below that is the mana curve. You can click on a mana cost to see all the cards within that mana cost. Below that is the average CMC and total CMC of your deck. If you keep going down, you can see the mana distribution of your colors and quickly add basic. Scroll down more and you can see hands you might draw from this deck. You can deal another hand, draw cards, or playtest your hand. Below that, you can see other decks with Galazeth as the commander, and you can browse these to look for more cards in your deck. Alternatively, you can use deck search to find deck. Once you've found a deck, you can compare it with another deck. Click more and click compare. Then you can paste in a URL or choose from one of your decks. Unfortunately, the best way to add cards to your deck once you're in this view is to just type them out manually into your list. There is a feature on Moxfield to add to another list, but it's not available on compare. If Moxfield would add a plus symbol in the compare view to add it to your list, that'd be a massive advantage. By the way, you can use the add to another list feature by clicking the three dots or right-clicking a card. Then click add to another deck. You can use the highlighter by clicking highlighter and filling in the box. All cards matching the criteria in your deck will have a glowing border so you can easily identify them. So if you want to highlight your high CMC cards to make cuts, you can easily do so. Export the deck by hitting export under more. Sadly, there aren't many options of formatting, but it does the trick. Purchasing deck. You can purchase decks through the buy deck button. It just makes it easier to purchase your deck. Moxfield has a few hotkeys that can help speed up your use. When you are hovering over a card, you can add one by hitting Alt-1 and remove one by hitting Alt-2. Be careful where your mouse is because it will do that action to the card your mouse is hovering over, and hit backslash to type in the search. You can also use hotkeys to control your playtesting, but I already covered that. Moxfield can be used on mobile in your browser and works pretty well. Just use buttons instead of hotkeys. The hotkeys are not necessary. And you can edit deck settings by clicking more. Then settings to change name, description, and format. If you have any questions or tips on using Moxfield, leave a comment. Also, I feel I should mention that I currently use Archidekt. It is worth considering both options. A while ago, I made a deck builder comparison video where I explained why I continue to use Archidekt. But at this point, it's extremely outdated. I don't think it's relevant anymore. If you're interested in an update to that video, let me know and I might make it. If you want to learn how to use Archidekt, watch this video. And watch this video to learn Scryfall syntax. It goes in this search bar on Moxfield and will greatly improve your Moxfield and deck building skills. And subscribe because I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers by 2022.